The most bullish scenario for Bitcoin is guaranteed to happen. No, there's not a lot of guarantees in life, but I can guarantee you this is going to happen. But first, let's talk about free Bitcoin. You may be thinking, what? Well, this is a great tweet from Documenting Bitcoin on Twitter. They say, when Bitcoin launched, it had no price, no investors, and no market. For the first 9 months, it was free. The earliest news headlines didn't appear till years later and were mostly negative. I remember like a lot of negative news coming out. Growing quietly and organically, it worked because no one expected it to. This is a vastly different mindset back then as we have now, where everybody thinks one or two people are going to be responsible for keeping Bitcoin alive and making it great. Guys, Bitcoin has been great since 2009. It doesn't need the help of any of your favorite celebrities or politicians. Moving on, we have NVIDIA. They just surpassed Apple to become the largest company by market cap. So my followers at learningcrypto.com, you're welcome. I'm very happy for you. You've been listening to my thoughts on the market ever since the bear market. Me saying over and over again, the AI narrative is going to be one of the largest narratives, if not the largest. And this is what has happened. Our AI coins have been absolutely exploding higher. Congratulations once again. Check us out, learningcrypto.com. Okay, so this is how few Bitcoin are out there. And a lot of people have no idea. I'm going to put it into perspective. Okay, so there's 21 million Bitcoin versus 8 billion people. To put this in perspective, 20 million is just 0.25% of the global population, not even a percent. That's 1 in every 400 people on the planet that would ever be able to own 1 Bitcoin. Here, this is from Greek Hodl on Twitter. Let's use an analogy. Think 20 million hours compared to 8 billion hours. So 20 million hours would be 2,283 years. 8 billion hours is 913,242 years. So yes, there is going to be a massive supply crunch. This is why we have over $100,000 Bitcoin right now. This is just one of the reasons, all right? So there is going to be a fight to getting away from central bank power, BlackRock power. In other words, they own about 21% of the Federal Reserve shares. So I get on time and time again and I say, you know what, Bitcoin is going to make stocks pretty much irrelevant in the future. None of your kids are going to be, trading stocks. They're going to be trading crypto. Okay, so here's some interesting facts here. The S&P 500 went up 23% in 2024. Warren Buffett did 25%. Bitcoin did 120%. Our AI coins did a lot more than that. So just tells you we are the new realm of investors. We are the new frontier. We're gonna make Warren and all these other people that are financial titans back in the day look poor, guys. Like, this is the crypto space. We are some of the earliest people in this space, and we are getting in before a lot of governments are getting into. Like, you haven't seen anything yet in this space. I still do think that we're not, if you're entering this space right now, you're not super early, but you're still a little bit early, all right? Okay, so also, Bitcoin is up over 1,200% since Michael Saylor first started buying Bitcoin back in September 2020. And MicroStrategy went up only 63.2%. So you'd be missing a lot of gains if you just invested in MicroStrategy, right? So stick with Bitcoin, screw stocks. You don't need stocks, all right? Stocks are so centralized, it's such a joke. And there's too much bureaucracy around them. And yeah, it's just, guys, teach your kids about crypto, not stocks, all right? They're finished. Okay, moving on to Elon Musk. He shared this thing on Twitter and he said, perfectly articulated. Here's my worry here. He's showing this guy that talks about inflation, saying it's government spending. Not one mention of the Federal Reserve. And I never hear Elon Musk talking about the Federal Reserve. Never. Like, maybe I've missed it, but he's always talking about government spending. I think what happens here is that he knows that the Federal Reserve is his overlords, and he's not about to expose them. So I put underneath this video, that's a lie. It's the Federal Reserve that prints their currency into oblivion. Get rid of the Federal Reserve and you'll solve most of your inflation issues. This is one of the biggest things that is overlooked in the globe right now. Okay, so also Bitcoin Teddy on Twitter says 80% of dollars were created in the last 5 years. Have a good night. And here's a graph for you. I'm not lying. This is the truth. Who's printing all this currency? The government? No, the government is not private and unelected, right? The Federal Reserve is private and unelected, and they have sole power over the printing press. Somebody tell Elon Musk this. Seriously, educate him on currency creation. Please do that. Okay, moving on. We also have the US dollar index, which will continue to be irrelevant. Hits the highest level in more than 2 years. What did I say in my prior videos and prior months and years? The dollar index doesn't matter. Look what Bitcoin is at right now. It's at 100,000. It's almost at $101,000, and we have a DXY. The dollar index is at 2-year highs. What does that tell you? It's irrelevant. Why is it irrelevant? Because going back, it's the Federal Reserve that is printing and printing and printing, and you're going to see Bitcoin go ballistic regardless, because why? The Federal Reserve keeps printing and printing and printing, and that is guaranteed, guys. Trump and Elon, they don't even want to touch the Federal Reserve. Elon said he's not going to replace Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. It shows who's really in power. And I know I get a lot of hate for this, but you know what? You know it's true. I know you guys know it's true, and if you're going to ignore it, that's called cognitive dissonance. Do your research on that word. So with that said, follow me at learningcrypto.com. You'll get the truth. You'll understand when to buy, when to sell, and you'll be able to see our portfolio and get to buy merch like this. Anyways, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.